This is Mike Stone. We're in Scott County.
Scott County, beautiful soils.
What's the name of your farm?
Elmwood Stock Farm.
You know, I was at our favorite store and I said, I need some rhubarb. And they had some in stock, but
right.
I said, no, I want to go deeper than that. I want to find out about the plant.
Great.
Because a lot of people have told me that they have real trouble raising it.
Right.
So it's persnickety to raise and it's got its own
way. It is, but once you get it going, it's great. But it has a bulb and a crown, and you have to get that crown developed. You've got to let it grow for a year before you start harvesting. That's always hard for people like asparagus. But once you get it growing, it has a big flower stalk like a yucca or something. You rip that out and all the growth goes towards the vegetation. And then you keep the weeds out of it, and once you get it established, it's as hardy as it can be.
Now, stay away from the leaves, obviously.
Yes, yep.
You've got a little toxic.
Right.
Probably not enough to kill you, but you don't want to eat it.
I think you spit them out before you eat enough to.
But you go for the stalk, it looks like celery. And you know, the reason I was interested in this, because when I was a kid, I remember my grandmother, rhubarb pie, rhubarb this, rhubarb that.
Right.
It's kind of an old-fashioned thing, but it seems to be coming back.
Well, if you look at old homesteads around, they all had a little bit of rhubarb, a little bit of asparagus, a little bit of Concord grapes kind of a thing. It's just what you did, and you put it up for the winter. So you can freeze it, you can take that stalk, but you use it in bases in sauces and desserts and all sorts of stuff.
It's got an interesting taste and texture, doesn't it?
It does, and people like add a lot of sugar, but no, don't add too much sugar. Sugar's not good for you. You know, there's honey and other things.
There you go.
Right.
Now let's talk about your farm in general. You're fully organic now.
Absolutely. Everything we do is certified organic.
Which means?
Means there's no synthetic fertilizers, no synthetic pesticides. We have the natural enemies that take care of the insects so that we don't have to spray. If the plant is healthy from the soil, then it can repel insects and it doesn't have the problems that it does if the soil is not right.
Right. Now let's talk about beyond the rhubarb patch.
There you go.
There's a lot going on here.
Oh yeah.
Tell me about some things that you do. You showed me some stuff in here that just blew my mind. There's some pre-made boxes of vegetables. Tell us about that program.
So it's called a Community Supported Agriculture, CSA for short. We have customers that sign up in the winter and early spring that we guarantee them we're going to give them a box of whatever's seasonally available all summer. They have no idea what they're going to get. We don't even know until the day before. So if we've got lots of peas and asparagus and strawberries in the spring, then that's what they get. And in the summer it's corn and tomatoes and beans. In the fall it's lettuces and kale. And so it's all about healthy eating. It's a nice balance of nutrients in that box. We give a newsletter with recipes and whatnot.
So if I said to you, I want to be in this program, I can get a box a week. And it's a pretty hefty box.
There's 3 different sizes, depending on how much you cook at home.
And how would this work if I decided to sign up? How would I get one of these boxes?
So we have drop-off locations, like 10 or 15 locations in Lexington. You can come to the farm, you can look around while you're here. We take them some to Frankfurt. We actually take some to Cincinnati as well, Louisville also.
Now, it's not just vegetables here. You got some critters.
We got critters.
What do you have on this
We got cool critters.
spread?
So we got Angus beef cattle that were totally grass-fed. We have lambs, we have eggs, we have broiler chickens, and we have turkeys, 2 kinds of turkeys.
Wow. Can we take a look around?
Let's do.
I'll follow you.
All right.
This is, September's right around the corner. Then before you know it, it's November.
Right.
What size will these be November?
So the hens are like 7 to 10 pounds.
Gotcha.
And the toms will be like 12 to 17. They're sleeker, they're more dark meat, kind of like swordfish versus tilapia. It's a richer meat, you don't tend to eat as much.
It's a whole different ballgame, isn't it?
Hold up.
When they're out here feeding on grass and doing their thing, and nature intends them to be what they are. You can't change that.
Right.
And when they're getting what they need, and man, I'm telling you what, when I eat a wild turkey,
Right.
it's a different taste.
Right.
But I'd say this is kind of somewhere in between the best of both worlds.
Somewhere in between, because they're on a ration,
Right.
so it doesn't have, there's no sense of gaminess to it,
Right.
but it's a richer, different type of meat.
To me, it's so nice to know that folks like you, and I know it's a huge amount of work, but it's so nice to know that things like this are happening all around us.
It is, and the Organic Association of Kentucky, we're helping farmers transition to organic. This is as much as they want us to help, because once we've learned how food is grown, it's not just know your farmer, how does your farmer grow your food? And what's in it? And so there's a whole world behind the scenes of what's going on.
So you, as a youngster, you had an epiphany. If you don't mind, do you want to share that on camera?
My daughter was about 3, and I said, Sydney, don't eat some of the vegetables in the garden. I sprayed poison. And she's like, Dad, really? You know, and I couldn't explain, you know, the reasoning. And so it just sort of like, no, you know, if there's a reason. And here on this farm, John and Amy, my wife and brother-in-law, as they were growing vegetables, the recommendations were spray this. Well, why do I have a problem in the first place? They were smart enough to say, well, I didn't have this problem last year. So we've learned in healthy soil, healthy plant, healthy animal, healthy human, starts with the soil.
Not overdoing it, learning how to rotate.
Right, right.
You are doing cool things here. I'm so glad that you took time out of your day to share your time with us
Appreciate
and a message with
here.
our folks. And if you need a Thanksgiving turkey, I guess we can call you.
Yeah, absolutely. Be glad to.
Thank you so much.
Thank
man.
you.